By the end of this video, you will understand what every surgeon should know about skills, even though no one actually teaches how to acquire them. You might think that surgeons are not told because the information they need is not necessary, but that's not true. That information is about the most important skills for surgeon, operative skills. Therefore, you may now argue that because it relates to operative skills, surgeons don't need formal instructions. They learn automatically through experience. Yes, I agree. Traditionally, skills related to operative skills are learned through hands-on experience. Therefore, after working in surgery, surgeons get the knowledge. However, not all surgeons learn in this way. And even those who do often don't know enough to apply their skills correctly. Additionally, this process takes a long time. This video offers you that knowledge more easily and quickly. Welcome to this channel dedicated to developing surgical excellence. I am Dr. Uttam Shiralkar, a surgeon and psychiatrist based in the UK. Please watch this video until the end to learn about mastering operative skills that you may not have known. Operative skills are a crucial component of being a surgeon. Therefore, no surgeon needs to be told how vital it is to develop good surgical skills. But are surgeons taught how to develop operative skills better and quicker by any other than hands-on experience? If listening to this question, your reaction is, what are you talking about? How can I develop operative skills without hands-on experience? If that question came to your mind, I got your answer that you haven't been told how to do that. We have all been taught that the more cases you operate on, the better and quicker your operative skills develop. We have always been told about this century-old saying, practice makes perfect and experience makes an expert. The only thing that has changed in the recent times is the introduction of simulator. But even for simulators, you need to use your hands. Therefore, I can understand why you may have been surprised when I said developing operative skills without hands-on experience. But if you believe that hands-on experience is the only way to develop operative skills, here is the hypothetical question for you. Imagine about 15-20 surgeons who have the same level of experience with a particular procedure are asked to perform that procedure, and you are asked to observe and rate their operative skills. In that hypothetical situation, how likely is it that you would rate them equally? Because all surgeons have the same degree of experience. Therefore, all those surgeons with equal operative experience should perform equally well, right? But you would agree that the reality is different. We observe variations in surgeon skills even among the same level of experience. As I said earlier, previous question was a hypothetical, but here is my actual experience. During the courses I conduct for surgeons, I ask participants to rate the surgeon's skills they have observed in operating theatres. As you know, it is difficult to assign a single score. Therefore, I ask them to rate the surgeon's skill on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 is the best skill and 1 is the worst. The most common rating I get told fall between 3 and 7. In some specialties, the range widens from 2 to 8. Therefore, one of the things surgeons are not told is why the quality of surgical skill varies so much even among experienced surgeons. Why are some very good while others are not? And more importantly, what can others do to improve? To these questions about variation, people offer casual explanation like, oh, everyone has different abilities, different training and different work experience, and so on. Although these explanations are not entirely wrong, they are not convincing enough. Forget about the variability among different surgeons. Even one surgeon's performance varies over time. I'm not talking about the differences in performance due to clinical variations. A surgeon performing a similar case on 2 different occasions may show different levels of performance. There are many examples to prove this fact, But the simplest one is the idea of a learning curve. So let's talk about the learning curve. We all know that when you learn a procedure, your skill develops in stages. However, that progression is not a straight line. It's a curve. That's why it's a learning curve. Sometimes it improves quickly, while other times it is a very slow improvement. Therefore, it's not true that if after performing a procedure 10 times, your rating is 3, then if you perform it 20 times, it will be 6. It doesn't work like that. Furthermore, after performing that procedure many times, like 100 times, your skill may plateau. Therefore, even if you do it 200 times, 300 times, your performance remains the same. Also, your own learning curve is different for different procedures. For example, your learning curve for an open surgical procedure will be different from that of learning an endoscopic procedure, which in turn will be different from a robotic procedure. The main issue is that the variation and uncertainty we observe in surgical skills are not explained to us. Each person manages this in their own way. Some are intelligent enough to understand it well and master the skills to become experts. When you observe these experts in action, you are impressed by their ease and flow of their movements, their confidence and calmness in managing unexpected situations, their endurance and creativity. On the other hand, we see mediocre performances, an inability to handle clinical variations, and surgeons who are exhausted and stressed. The question is, what causes this discrepancy? What should be done to improve it? And more importantly, why are surgeons not taught about it? Let's start with the last question first. Why are surgeons not informed about it? There are several reasons for this, but we'll focus on the easiest one to address. One reason is that it is not easy to teach, and it requires different skill and attitude to impart this kind of knowledge. I'm not sure if I would have been able to deliver this if I had not been a psychiatrist. My experience of teaching this to thousands of surgeons over the past decade and observing the immense benefit they have got had sharpened my skills in delivering this knowledge. Another fact is that this knowledge is too complex and it is not as obvious as other surgical information or knowledge. Therefore, it needs to be explained in painstakingly details. The best way to explain this by analogy with information technology. Interestingly, this analogy fits perfectly, word for word. The analogy is the operating system of the computers. Just as all our gadgets, including mobile and computers, operate on an operating system, all surgeons develop a mental software, an operating system that decides the quality of their skills. Just as creating software for an operating system is painstakingly complex, so too is developing a surgeon's operating system. This analogy of surgeon's mental operating system and a computer's operating system helps to answer the important question: what should be done about it? And the answer is, we need to do the same to the surgeon's operating system as we do to our mobiles and computers. Update it regularly. Now, how to update the surgical operating system will be discussed in the following videos. If you like this video, please click the like icon, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other surgical colleagues. Thanks for watching.